I'll just oh man, the live stream is only going to one.
That happen all the time.
I don't know. I think somebody on the too bad for Twitter. Sorry guys. Live on Dennis the Menace.
I should probably pull up YouTube, see what's going on the YouTube.
Yeah, Dennis was asking me what this sweater is about, and I was telling him it's my buddy's, and I probably should have changed. He probably wouldn't want me wearing this sweater.
I'm like, why?
His
Why
company's
not?
sweater, like on our stream, where we talk about certain things that aren't popular opinions, and then I totally forgot to go change within 2 minutes.
Now it's too late.
Now it's too late, and on top of that, I drew extra attention to it. I'm looking on my desk for something to cover it with.
Tape. Like have some like. No, because that make it worse. No, I won't make it worse if you can totally cover it. No, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you need to cover it with. That's going to help the controversy.
Sorry, bro.
You know, all right. So we're good. I see we're on. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Dennis the Menace. It's we're doing a hang sesh tonight, right?
Yes, sir. Just you and me. My parents are gone.
That sounded so weird. How old are you, bro? You live with your parents?
No, I'm 40. They live with me.
I'm living with my parents.
See, you made fun of me while making fun of yourself.
I was just setting myself up.
You set yourself up.
Yeah, there you go.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Welcome to Dennis the Menace, guys. Thanks for hanging with us. Tonight, we're going to talk about anything and everything. So if you have something you'd like to chat about, please throw it in the chat. But we do have some topics that we'd like to go over. I love the thumbnail, by the way, Ben.
Did you see it?
Genius. Yeah.
Do you think
so good? I showed my mom. She loved it.
Your mom?
Yeah. I was like, this is the before, this is the after.
She's like, oh my God, it's magic.
What are you carrying in your hand?
How he does this?
That's so good.
Who eats
him? Yeah, that's what she was asking. Like, how does he do it? But how does he do that?
It's AI.
I had a conversation with her today. My dad was fishing, so I had some time with my mom today, and I'm like, Mom, what are you gonna do when you see aliens? Like, what are you gonna do? She's like, I don't believe in them. I'm like, yeah, but you're gonna see them. So what are you gonna do? Doesn't matter if you don't believe in them. What are you gonna do?
Isn't it interesting how some people still have their head in the sand?
Oh,
and the only reason
way deep
they don't believe in it is just because they don't want to.
Yeah, they don't want to, and yeah, I think that's what the problem with most people, right? They just don't want to hear something, or they don't want to know about something. They like their world. They like the world they live in.
Exactly. It would, dude. But honestly, bro, this is like the exact kind of people we want to hear about the alien stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Christians whose entire worldview will be shattered.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's how I start these conversations all the time. Like, hey, what are you going to do when you see aliens? What are you going to think?
Whoa, you just throw that out there.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time. It's the best because everyone's caught off guard. You know, no one has a real answer. Like, you know, and then when they depending on like how they answer too, sometimes they're like, well, I don't believe in it. Like my mom said, I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. But we get into it, right? Like we get into talking about it every single time. And it's really interesting to hear the different opinions. Most people though, just say, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what I would do. I don't even know what I would think, you know? And I said, what would you think about the Bible then? Like, does this prove the Bible immediately for you? Like, does everything that you've lived for your last 70 years of life, 75 years, 78 years of life, you just throw that out the window?
Yeah.
Because think about that, right? I think that's what would happen. It's going to happen to most people.
Sure.
Like, they're going to see something like that they've never seen before. And they're like, and we've been indoctrinated to hear like what aliens are, like actual like beings from other planets. And, you know, maybe they made us, maybe they've been here all along and all this stuff. Maybe they've helped us. Maybe it can go so many ways. And they're just sitting there in awe that they're seeing something they've never seen before. Right. And that we're only in comic books and movies.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the real like watershed moment for a lot of people, like the nominal Christians, you know, the ones that are just like at church trying to date and because it provides like a better way of life.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
I think those are the ones that are really going to struggle. Because like when the rubber hits the road and Jesus makes you feel good and you like the music at church and the girls are hot,
Hmm.
but then there's this like alien monster thing that's like, I made you guys
Yeah.
and you need to worship me or I'll zap you with this laser. They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm gonna go with that. You know, that's here, that's tangible, that's real. This
Right.
other thing just makes me feel good.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we'll
And
see.
I never heard from God. I've never seen God. I've never, really experienced stuff. So I'm just gonna, put it all away pretty easily. I think it's gonna happen really fast for people. I think they're gonna have like crises in their minds, but, um,
Yeah.
and I think maybe that's gonna be the part of the shock too, because it's like, this crisis, this internal crisis that you have in your mind and heart of like what you believed your whole life, and then all of a sudden, in a swoop, it's all just totally turned upside down.
It's what we're here for, bro. We gotta educate the peeps.
That's what I was telling my mom. I'm like, "Mom, people need us. They need to hear these things because nobody." I'm like, "When did anyone?" So what we did was we get to sit and talk about like creation, and we talked. They're like, "But where did they come from? Where are they?" She wanted to know, and what I thought. And so I'm like, "Well, this is what I think." I threw you in there too. Sometimes, like, and Ben thinks this too. So I'm not like a crazy person alone. At least we're both crazy.
I dig it.
Yeah, or it helps my validity a little bit because you're around. So
Wow.
yeah, they don't know you yet. So right now they think, oh, Ben,
Oh, he's a good Christian boy.
That's what I say. He loves you so much. But yeah, like we got to talk about like creation and like Nephilim and what this all means and where they came. And then I talked about like, there's this idea that they may have gone off planet, before the flood, or they could be in the water, or because my
Yeah,
mom's like, well,
yeah, yeah.
they're here, right? I'm like, yeah, they're here, and so we got into it. It was pretty cool.
Dude,
Never
and
had
she
that
was kind
conversation.
of open to it?
Oh, so it was totally open. She was asking questions. She was totally like in it because she was like, it kind of makes sense, like,
Dude, that's the
and she's
thing.
never heard this stuff before,
That's the
right?
thing. When you actually hear it laid out, even
Mhm.
as like Christians, even from a biblical perspective, because that's gonna be the angle we always hit, right?
Right. Yeah.
It kinda makes sense.
Well, bro, when you look at the Bible, like, and you try to kind of fit it into the Bible view, right, of what we know from the Bible, it does fit pretty well,
Yeah.
right? It's not like I've seen more stretching happening in Catholic, yoga sessions than I've had that are on the show or
Nice.
the things that we talk about, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, bro. The more I think about it, it's like, yeah, that's probably gonna happen. Like,
It
we're
kinda makes
like
sense.
80% right.
Yeah. Man, that's so wild. And then it kinda just leads me into the stuff that I wanted to talk about before we get or what the thumbnail's about.
Hmm.
Um, man, there's so much, like, turmoil and wars and, like, crazy crap happening in the world, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of that's gonna stop.
Well, it has to, bro. That's what's going to make it stop too. It's going to have to put a halt because it's going to be so shocking, dude, to the whole world. Nothing,
Yeah,
religion's not going to matter.
it's
The
not gonna
same
matter.
thing that's going to happen to Christians is
Borders
going to
aren't gonna
happen to
matter.
Muslims, right? The same thing's going to happen to. I mean, probably all the New Age people are like, we were right, but like, imagine like all the LDS, right? They're gonna be like, okay, well, I don't know, because maybe
Joseph
some of their
Joseph Smith didn't see a freaking vision in his underwear about aliens.
So what's going to happen to all the dedication, all that money, all that power, all that, like, it's going to twist everyone's mind so much that, like, because if your religion, if what anchors a person, right? It's either religion or traditions, um, what they were raised to believe, right? Their own family religion, I guess. That's what anchors you, right? If it's not the Bible, right? It's
Yeah,
maybe the Quran, or it's maybe whatever. All these other belief systems, and if those are all shattered in one instance, like just bam, gone, you just because all that
mm,
will shatter for everyone else. For Christians, it's going to be like really like this, like a battle. Like they're going to really fight like within themselves. But for other, I think religions is just going to be easy to just be like, oh,
you
yeah,
think
that's
so, or you think they're gonna all adapt as well?
they'll adapt to what the enemy wants.
Yeah, because even Muslims have the jinn.
Hmm.
The jinn is where genie comes from.
Yeah.
and that is their version of the demon.
Yeah.
These spirits,
Mm.
right, that go around causing mischief and do evil things.
Mm.
They can probably just claim that, oh, look, we are right. These are jinn. Even that
Mm.
one guy, Beck Lover, that we had on, the
Yeah.
guy, the Muslim dude, he says that all the time. He talks about how aliens are our equivalent of the jinn, you
Wow.
know? So I feel like other religions are going to try to pivot. They're going to adapt as well. But at the same time, those guys don't, dude, reality to like, and I'm not saying that he is one of these. I'm just saying to a radical Muslim, it doesn't really matter what's going on in reality. They, I mean, they're willing to like blow people up. Radicals are
Right.
willing to blow people up, right? They don't care about this world. They don't care about life. They don't care about common sense. They don't care about good versus evil. Like they have an idea in their head and they're willing to die for that. So
Right.
when they see something appear, they're not just going to suddenly be like, oh yeah, Allah's fake. He's Satan and Muhammad was a
Mm.
false teacher. They're not just going to flip. They're going
Mm.
to look at that and try to like rationalize it and fit it into their radical like worldview. You know what I'm saying?
Can they though? That's crazy.
Like I said, they'll probably just use the word jinn. They'll probably just do that. And
But then do they fight against them? Or do
I don't
they?
know if they're going to fight against them. That's an interesting question. It'd be super interesting to talk to a Muslim about the question you
Aliens.
asked your mom. What are you
Yeah.
going to do
When you see
when
alien.
aliens show up? Or what do you think somebody from a Muslim paradigm
Mhm.
will do?
Yeah,
Like
that's a good question.
how can you deal with it? It'd be interesting to ask people from different religions,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
You
See
know
how
what I mean?
they see what their response is. Because who did we? Wasn't it? Yeah, was it with who we spoke with, Edmund, Dr. Maza? We
Mhm.
asked him kind of like what the Catholics would believe with, in those kinds of ways. And and a lot of it was like, we just don't talk about it. We just don't even like think about it. We leave Revelation kind of alone.
Well, dude, the Catholics had I forget, I don't think it was a pope, but I think it was some bishops that had like a meeting in the past, I want to say 10 years, and they hypothetically asked the question, if there's life on other planets and they visit us, would we baptize them?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you didn't know about this?
No,
Dude, I wonder if I could find it on
that's
chat. But
interesting.
yeah, no, the Catholics are ahead of the game. And they've got that, if not one of the largest observatories in the world. And I believe it's in New Mexico on the top of some like sacred Indian mountain that they went to
Mm.
court over because the Indians didn't want them to build anything there. And the Catholics won in court to build this specific like observatory with this massive, massive telescope where I think it's like some Catholic, not priests, but Catholics, they study the stars and they
Mm.
said that I remember watching a video on it. They said that they see stuff all the time. And they're I think it's the hardware or like this very advanced piece of technology they have in their telescope. It's called the Lucifer device. It's an acronym, LUC,
So
however else you
crazy.
spell it. But that's what their telescope contains. It's the Lucifer device. It's insane. Catholics are on it. They know what they're doing.
But what are they doing?
What are the Catholics doing
Yeah,
in
like
this regard?
yeah, like I mean,
I think they're processing through it more than Christians are.
okay.
I think Catholics are actually preparing for the possibility
Mm.
that this is going to come. Something's going to come here. And how will the Catholic Church? The Catholic Church is like the most powerful organization on the freaking planet.
Yeah.
You don't think that they're like wargaming scenarios and coming up with strategies? I bet you they have people in charge of just that. Like, hey, if they appear, what are we going to do? Are we going to baptize them? Are we going to say they're God's creation? Are we going to try to convert them? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They're wargaming this stuff out for sure. And they're way better at it than like Protestants are.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have, other than Mondo, we don't have too many telescopes out there, bro.
So, but is this stuff, I wonder if this stuff is spoken about at all from their pulpit?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's spoken about like publicly. I think it's just things that are circulated internally. You know what I mean? It's like doctors. You know how doctors like peer review
Yeah.
studies? and you
Yeah.
read what people's work is and updates on
Yeah,
the
that makes
latest
sense.
findings. I think they have their own stuff that they circulate and read from priests. And dude, all these guys do is like study and read
Study.
and write
Yeah.
and talk to each other and try to
Yeah.
like
You're right.
do something that's, I don't know, will make a name for themselves in the future, you know? But on the, it's interesting because we were kind of touching on the Islam stuff, you know,
Yeah.
and how they would
Yeah.
react to it. Did you see that? Did you see that video of the dudes in Ireland? I think it's the new Republican movement, the NRM, where they put out this threat to like basically all globalists in Ireland. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I started watching it, and then I didn't finish it, so I don't know like how deep they went, but something we I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
Du-du-du.
Um,
Okay, and this is I mean, you remember the history of like Ireland and its independence from England and how they used to have
a little bit.
I think it was the IRA, and they used to like firebomb places,
Yeah, I
and
do remember all that.
they were like they were seen as terrorists, but they got their independence, and
Right.
now the IRA is praised. You know what I mean? That's what
Right.
it
Right.
took, and so now you got a group of people that basically reformed
Mm,
something similar to that because they're like, dude, this is in our blood to fight for this country and our freedom.
yeah.
And now, because of mass migration and like the insane violence that's perpetrated on the natives there, the Irish natives, by mostly the news will call it Asian immigrants, but it's
Mm.
all just like Middle Eastern, you know, it's all Islamic. And it's the same thing in Ireland, England,
Oh
France,
yeah. Yeah.
Italy,
England's
Denmark,
gone, dude.
Sweden, Norway, like everywhere these people Greece, everywhere these people have been brought in, they are devastating the countries.
Yeah.
Devastating the countries because the people can't like you don't know how to handle that culture.
Mm.
So they take advantage of that and just walk all over it. And the native like governance, the local politicians are basically all just like globalists and
Right.
allow it to happen. These people, everybody online keeps saying like, "Oh, Europe's getting conquered." But it's not. Like they are brought.
Mm.
They're brought in.
Mm.
That's not a conquering.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not
You're
a
right.
conquering. I never in human history has a country been like, you know what we should do? Why don't we just bring in 3 million former enemies? Give them
Right.
everything for free. Don't make them have to work. Don't make them have to assimilate. Take care of them until they outbreed us. Yeah, let's do that. That's not conquering as we've ever known it before. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what that is. That's a new term. That's some
Yeah. You're
crazy
right,
diabolical new form of warfare.
dude.
You know what I'm saying?
It's so twisted,
But
bro.
hey, let's watch this. Watch this. Because these people have had enough, and I celebrate it.
I wonder how big they are. Like how many people are behind them.
Okay, let's watch it, and then let's get into it. Actually, I shouldn't even have said I celebrate it because who knows what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay, you see it? Tell me if it's too loud.
To the people of Newry, Mourne and
It's a
Down,
little loud.
we, the New Republican Movement, have watched their councillors and MLAs over the past 12 months. The level of disrespect shown to the people who put you into power, this cannot be ignored any longer. We are proud men of Ireland. We are patriots. Your policies and decision-making in regards to flooding our communities with undocumented military-aged men is not acceptable. We will not sit back any longer and watch our culture and religion destroyed by the people we put in power. Also, the sexual indoctrination of our children in schools has not went unnoticed either. The New Republican Movement will take immediate action against anyone who threatens our ways of life and the safety of our women and children. We have your addresses and known your movements. Every one of you are legitimate targets as of today. The New Republican Movement, the 28th of 11/25.
Bro.
Dang.
Bro.
That's
They're done.
serious.
They're done. If people start rising up, it's actually going to be pretty terrifying to watch. I'm all for it. Like I think this should have been done a long time ago, way before millions were allowed to come in. Way before that, you know. Because think about it, man. At this point, I mean, we could look up the numbers, like how many in the past 10 years, because that's kind of the time frame we're talking about, how many migrants from Africa and the Middle East did Ireland take in? You know,
Mm.
how many did England take in? How many did Germany take in? How many did Greece? All these countries, how many did they take in?
Yeah.
Those people aren't going anywhere.
Right.
They're not going to go anywhere. What are they going to do? They're going to fight with these guys. And it doesn't sound like these guys, this kind of militia group, it doesn't sound like they're going to be going after the immigrants. It sounds
Right.
like they're going for the head of the snake. They're
Right.
going in for the people that are actually perpetrating
Right.
that new form of warfare upon
Right.
their country. And
Yeah.
they called them out. They said, the people we've put into power are doing this.
Yep. We have your addresses.
And you're on notice. Everybody's
Yeah,
fair game.
from this day on forward. Oh man, dude.
The thing is, like, again, I'm for it. I think this should have happened earlier. You know, I don't know if it's too late to actually make a difference.
Well, if they start, they're not going to be alone. You're going to see this happening in different countries.
For sure.
Yeah.
But what do you think the government response is going to be to this?
It's going to push hard, like real hard. And and that's the thing. Unfortunately, when you can control people's money, you can control anything, their whole life, pretty much. And so, you know, if they get dried up financially, it's just a matter of time until they just, you know, wear themselves out. It's just, that's why I think, you know, the digital age with what's happening with money is so important. But it's too far gone. Like it's in process. It's happening. We're not getting out of that.
Yeah, that system's already in
Right.
place. You know what I'm saying? We saw that during the trucker convoy with Canada. What they were able to do to those folks to shut them down. But here's the thing. These guys are all masked up. They don't know who these people are.
I think they do. Listen, with social media and with everything that's being tracked, it's so easy to know who's talking to who, what's, you know, where chatter is.
You don't think
they got our number,
you
bro.
don't think a group of 10 or 20 guys, I'm not saying that's how big they are. Let's just theorize here.
Yeah.
You don't think a group of 10 or 20 guys at a pub in Ireland, all talking crap on immigration and the politicians and stuff like that, could one guy just goes up to the next and is like, meet me at my house after, you know, leave your phone at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't think that they could just like do that a few times and then get a group of guys together and start meeting somewhere? You think that like, because realistically, this is the rock in the hard place.
Someone's going to slip though, man.
This is what you'd have to think about. You know, the surveillance state and the technology is on the government's side.
Right.
They have access to all that stuff. FBI, CIA, NSA, like drones, listening devices, like your cell phone, everything. They're the ones with access to that technology. The normal person doesn't have that.
Right.
This isn't the freaking 60s, 70s, 80s. I don't know when the IRA was popping, when they were like making a change and terrorizing, where the only form of technology you had to communicate was like a landline. You know what I mean?
Right.
There wasn't anybody bugging like pubs with like drone activity and stuff like that. So it's almost like a nostalgia. It's a throwback to what they used to do, but they've never dealt with the kind of monster that the governments are today.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's my thought. Is it even possible to do anything in private anymore? Or is it too captured?
Yeah, I don't think it's possible anymore.
You don't think it's possible?
I think we're beyond that. I think they'll let them talk a little bit, let them actually probably even cause some havoc, or let them even, you know, and then bring them out, like, and then punish them, like, in a way. And I think it's good for the system in itself. That anger, that division is a good thing, right? It feeds into the whole plan of self-destruction. you know, the world war maybe is not just only about countries fighting countries, but countries within countries fighting, right?
Right.
We see that even in the Old Testament with the wars, like they fought each other, you know. God made it so they would even just kill each other
Right.
with confusion. And I think that I think that's what we're seeing within like our country is that exact same thing. We're fighting each other with confusion. We're confused. People are confused in every country and they're fighting each other.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Hey, if you think about it, we kind of have an immigration issue, but our country's so big that like
Yeah.
even Biden bringing in 20 million illegals across the border.
Right.
Eh,
Right. It's concentrated. It's a concentrated
It
problem,
is.
right?
It
It's
is.
not like as much, you know, Jacksonville, we didn't have that an issue at all when I lived out there. Here in Arizona, I see it's an issue,
Right.
you know, we're right by the border. But all the bigger cities, right? Like LA,
Right. Right.
Chicago, right? Baltimore, New York, they're disgusting. It's what's happening there is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Detroit, right? Like, I mean, they're having
Yeah.
their
But the
5.
thing, dude, even there, most of the violence isn't like immigrant violence. There's some, but the majority of violence in those country or in those states you mentioned have kind of been like
Yeah,
along
you're right.
racial lines.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
But hey, even with Biden bringing in 20 mil, it didn't make that big of a difference for the majority of the country. It made a difference in some of the places you mentioned. You know what I mean? But a lot of these guys like kept their heads down.
Well, I think it made a
hey,
difference in the economics, though. You know,
it
because
did, and in
where money
voting and
went.
stuff like
Yeah,
that. Okay, but
yeah.
in a place like Ireland, where you bring in again, I don't know the exact numbers. Maybe look it up. Look up how many migrants have been brought in the past 10 years in Ireland specifically. But they're not a big country, bro. So
Yeah.
if you bring in, I don't know, 500,000, a million, I don't know what the number is. I think that's going to make a freaking dent. It's going to change things, you know? And there's only so much people can freaking take. There's only so much you can take until groups start banding together, you know? But we here in the US, because we don't have like that big of an issue with like migrants and stuff like that, okay? Our government uses a different form of division. Like you said, we fight amongst ourselves on other issues. We fight amongst ourselves, on like Republican, Democrat. So political, okay? Black versus white, racial, and then straight versus gay,
Yeah, the
sexual.
gender.
Those are probably the three main focuses of division in this country.
That's right.
That is imposed on us, okay? Because for the most part, I don't care. Like, my black neighbor's cool, my gay neighbor's cool, my Democrat neighbor, he sucks. But like, that wasn't a divisive thing like it is today until it was made so by like social media, mainstream media, you know what I mean? And those things are all controlled. But over there, bro, they don't have in like a place like Ireland. I don't think they have the racial divide. There's not like a ton of black people in Ireland.
Yeah, I wonder.
They don't have I don't think they have as big of a sexual divide. You know what I mean? But what do they do to cause chaos in division? What does the system do? Import people that are completely opposite of the natives and do not want to assimilate and do not want their betterment or their success. They want the opposite. They want their detriment. They want to take, they want to conquer. You know what I'm saying? So bring those guys in. And then we've got something that we can divide the country over.
Yeah.
And who wins in that situation? Who freaking wins? The people fight themselves, and then the people in power stay there. And they get to fiddle around in the background and do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
You know, diddle kids and who knows what else. And nobody is going to draw attention to it because they're going to be too busy fighting with their freaking snack bar neighbor, you know? Did you pull up the number?
Yeah. So their population, it is small.
What is it, like 3 million?
5.4 million.
Dang, that's tiny.
And it says out of that, 4.5 are Irish citizens. And then a 12-month period. Then I did a 10-year. They said about 80,000 in the last 12 months. And then in 10 year, they say about 520,000.
Bro,
those are big numbers for
a population of 500,000, of 5 million.
Yeah,
that's 10%.
Those are big numbers.
That's 10 freaking percent, man. Holy smokes.
And so now check this out. Given the 2025 foreign-born share and total population, that suggests around 1.2 to 1.3 million foreign-born residents.
What the hell is that?
So that's the babies.
Foreign-born residents. Bro, that's a lot of people, man. In a country of 5.
So roughly 500,000 to 1 million people who migrated in the last decade, depending on assumptions, is not precisely.
500,000 to 1 million. So we're talking about 10 to 20%.
Yeah, dude.
10 to 20% of Ireland is migrants over the past 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane. And on top of that, their government, the Irish government, is against the native population. So the natives themselves, think about how trapped they are.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They've got nowhere to go. Like, of course they're going to blow up. Of course they're going to freaking pop off. Of course. But here's the thing, man. If they do, unless we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people participating, they're going to get squashed.
Yeah.
So hard.
Yeah.
So hard and so fast. And as a result, it's not just going to be let's punish them and make an example of them. The government is only going to get bigger, stronger, more militaristic, and harder on racism and Islamophobia. And you know what I'm saying? They're only going to go harder and more militaristic against the native population. Only. And it makes me want, dude, almost, and looking at that video, almost makes me wonder if that's kind of like a false flag, like a Fed setup.
Seems like it to me.
Because wouldn't you, if your goal, if you know people, the natives are riling up, they're getting pitchforks and torches ready, wouldn't you send in some feds dressed in ski masks with a couple like pistols on the table to make threats and then be like, oh my God, we need to step up our security.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring in the military.
Yeah.
And then the military's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. Makes so much sense. I think it's totally possible. I thought about that earlier today, actually. I thought, well, what if it's them doing it? Just to have the excuse and say, they're the ones instilling fear, right? They're creating fear. They're creating, it's the false flag idea for sure. Very interesting. I think that's happened quite a bit, right? And that we've seen over and over again. I think, I think 9/11 was a false flag like that.
Oh, well, we know.
We know that
was us.
Right. But like all the things that came out of that, right? And it's obvious that it was, because then how many years later, like we have all this, like we have a governor that's Islamic, right? Like in New York.
God,
like,
man.
how does that happen? God. Like, how do we go from one extreme to the other extreme in such a short period of time? And he's shaking hands with Trump. And he's totally like, they're just totally stroking each other the whole time in front of the whole, the world. I mean, come on, dude, that's wild. What is going on? But again, it seems like Trump is bringing peace. It seems like he's the one that is, not that he's doing it, but like they're allowing him to be the poster child of peace and bringing people together and putting an end to certain things. I mean, this whole Venezuela stuff is crazy too. What's going on, and we have so many warships down there now, and so many things happening. It's like, what the heck? Where did that come from? Like, why is that going on too? I don't know anything about it. Like, I don't know too much.
It's It's a wild one, man. It's a wild one. I'm curious to see how this thing in Ireland plays out. I'm so curious. I'm like, and even as a dude, as a Christian, I'm torn because it's like I'm rooting for them to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Because dude, think about it. There's no consequences. There's no consequences for the evil. There's no
Right.
consequences. Who the
Yeah.
hell that's in government or in power is getting held accountable for any of these decisions that's actually affecting the lives of like millions of people? Nobody.
Nobody, dude.
So if there are no physical consequences, if there's no more like public executions and hangings and
Mhm.
right deterrence, right?
Yeah, they'll
If
do whatever
there's
they want.
why would you ever stop?
You won't. There's
Why
nothing's
the
gonna
hell
happen.
would you if you just get promoted?
Right.
Like the more evil shit you do, the higher
Yeah.
up in the system you make it, right?
Yeah, that's really what it is.
And you
Yeah.
see the people above you that are also doing really, really evil crap, they're not getting in trouble. So you're like, well, I'm just gonna keep writing this out.
Yeah.
Let's see how far we could go. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It's just a bunch of like narcissistic sociopaths that don't care about anybody but themselves. They
Right.
don't care that the country's freaking burning and imploding. They've
No.
got millions in the bank. They're just going to go to Switzerland. They don't freaking
Yeah.
care about anybody else. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, like, again, I'm rooting for these guys to be successful and hold people accountable. But as Christians, we know we're not supposed to be violent, right? The idea of like turning the other cheek, the idea or example of all the apostles being martyred except John, Jesus being killed, right? All the early church fathers, basically,
Yeah.
being martyred, or a vast majority of them, and early Christians being martyred. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's our MO, right? We have to do that. It's like we
I don't
just
know.
well,
I feel like we're kind of called to kill them with kindness, you know?
well, I just think post Jesus, yeah, it's just different, man. I think pre Jesus, you see that the taking over of nations, you see all those fights and those wars. Yeah, but Jesus came and changed everything, and it's just we live in a different way. We live in a different world, Ben. With all this stuff going on, like we have to learn as Christians how to integrate our beliefs, or how to, I don't know, I guess how to not integrate, maybe, I don't know, maybe integrate, how to live in this world, in this crazy world but also be citizens of heaven. It's,
Right.
because
Yeah,
that's the truth, man. That's who
the
we,
distinction.
yeah, that's where we live, right? That's our
But
our hope.
It's a dude, I don't know. I've thought about this a lot and I still don't have an answer. This is one of the things that like confuses me or
Okay.
baffles me the most is what are we allowed to do as Christians? You know?
I think
How
we're allowed
far
to protect.
are we allowed to go?
I think we're allowed to protect.
Okay.
I think
Okay, but
and to speak truth.
how soon are we
Yeah,
allowed to
yeah.
start protecting
Right. I mean, yeah.
when we see what's going on?
How proactive is our protection?
Yeah. How offenses are we
right.
allowed to be when it comes to protection, right? Because let's just use the classic example. A burglar breaks into your house, right, with a gun, and you've got your wife and your daughter and a Bible in your hand. Like, do you just fall to your knees and pray that God doesn't let him kill you and that he converts on the spot, or an angel protects you, or like what? Because we've seen that too.
That would be cool though, right? I mean,
We've
like
seen
if that's the
that
answer,
too.
that's dope.
But here's the freaking question. And if there's people in the comments or anything, I don't like, what do you guys think? Because I struggle with this thought. Like, do you put a situation like that as a Christian? Do you put that situation in God's hands? Like literally, God, you're in control of everything. I know this guy's here, and you can literally protect us. You can literally send an angel, just like you did with Elijah with the armies on the Elisha, right?
Oh, yeah, I think.
With the
Elisha.
armies on top of the mountains where of angels, right?
Yeah.
You could literally do that. So should I shoot this guy or just pray that you freaking send an angel to like smite him?
I think he's done it a couple times, I think, in the
Oh,
Bible.
there's some examples.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't think we have it in us to do that. I think we have to jump in and protect. Like, I think it's
I'm
just
not saying
yeah.
what would you do?
Right.
I'm saying what are we supposed to do? Right?
Because on a larger scale, that's the same question, right? Because you can if you can answer it in a setting of like your home, then you should be able to answer it the same way in the setting of your country.
No, I'm asking specifically in your home because that's the final line. Right. Okay, you can make the argument like,
true.
The government's taking over. It's okay. I'm going to go on and live my life and be a Christian and witness to my neighbor. Yeah, but when the dude's in your house with the gun and your wife and your kid, right, are sleeping, like as a guy, should you start praying or should you freaking blast the guy?
Well, Jesus, the Lord of Heaven's armies, was preemptively. Like he preemptively came to save us, right? You could say that he instigated the salvation, right? So he came to declare war. Like he came to bring light into the darkness.
Spiritual war.
Right. Well, yeah, but I mean, okay.
And even in the situation I'm describing with the robber in the house, that's still a spiritual war. That guy is probably possessed.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the apostles say, right, you're not, our war is not, our fight is not with flesh, right?
It's not flesh and blood. It's of spirits and principalities and blah. That guy's probably possessed, right? Yeah. Anybody willing to do that is probably under demonic influence. So, do you shoot him and send him to hell? Or do you ask God to freaking send your ass an angel with a fiery sword?
Man. I want to.
Or do you exorcise the demon? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Jesus didn't beat anybody up.
I want to see some Hadouken happen,
Spiritual Hadouken.
Right.
Jesus didn't beat anybody up. The apostles didn't freaking beat anybody up. Jesus chastised Peter when he swung his sword, Yeah. It's a really, really hard question. As a Christian, it's a very hard question. And everybody, all my friends included that I've asked, that are like, oh, bro, you have to defend your family. It's your calling as a man. Okay. But it's not your top calling. Your top calling is to obey the Lord your God. Right? And that's my question. What are we supposed to do?
That's a good question.
It's hard. It's really, really hard. And even, obviously, it goes into the broader topic because nationally, what are we supposed to do?
Right.
I could see us being active in local government and like doing our best, stuff like that. I could see myself moving to a cabin in the woods and getting away from crazy people and putting a fence around my house and being proactive to keep bad people away. But what about when they're already in?
I don't know how to answer this.
It's hard.
I don't have an answer even for myself.
Hard.
I mean, for me, my instinct is to just fight.
Protect, me too. That's why I've got like all the guns,
right,
all the silencers.
By the way, can you bring out your new friend that you had there that you showed me right before we started? I want to see
now.
Yeah, I know it's a weird time to ask you this question because it's in the middle of this great conversation, but
no,
for some reason, it just made me think of it. Okay, he'll bring out his new friend later, so you guys have to wait.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ben, it's a great question. I don't know the answer to that for myself. I would just, but you see, that's the thing. I want to answer it, but then I can't answer it in the same way nationally.
Well,
but I
it's
think
the
I
sa-
have
it-
to. I have to. I have
it's
to
the same
apply it.
answer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I look at it nationally, I don't look at it the same way, and I look at it as in my own house.
And all this talk online about like, oh, bring back the Crusades, bro.
Right.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why didn't the apostles in the early church crusade against anything?
Right.
They literally just for them, this entire reality was just a spiritual battle.
Well, let me ask you this.
And the body was a shell that was to be planted in the ground from whence it came, so that the soul could go home. You know, like
Right.
it's a man. I don't know. It's
Well,
a tough
listen,
one, bro.
You said it's most likely demonic, right? If somebody's doing something like that, right? So if it's a demonic thing, and we know that our battle is not with flesh and blood, then we know that Jesus casted out demons with a word, and he gave his apostles the ability to cast out demons, right? Why not, like, if it's a spiritual battle, like maybe that is the defense. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like that is the defense that we.
Do you think that while on earth, Jesus was in fear of his life?
No.
Why?
Oh, right. Okay, well, that's a good point. Yeah, so we shouldn't be in the same way.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not like
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, it should be easy though. I mean,
I
should
guess
be.
maybe if you're Jesus, but I'm just saying Jesus probably knew, hey, before I get crucified, like I'm good. Nobody's gonna stab me. Nobody's gonna take my
Right.
lunch money and like leave me dead in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a mission that he was here for. He knew that. And so he probably walked around picking fights and doing crazy stuff. And people were really mad because he knew, hey, when my time's up and my mission's over, that's when I'm out. Before that, he wasn't going to do anything because God's not going to let it happen because I got to do my thing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's so cool.
I feel like that's kind of the attitude we should have. I'm not saying we do. I definitely don't.
Yeah,
that's why I have all the silencers.
You know, get rid of them now. You're gonna have to get rid of them.
I don't know. They're pretty fun. But isn't that the truth? Like, you're not gonna die. Your wife's not gonna die. Your kids aren't gonna die until it's time for them to die, and that is in the hands of God. God alone makes that call. Doesn't matter the means. Car accident, robber, shooting your whole family, mass murder, heart attack, doesn't matter. Poisoning, doesn't matter. Like God holds that in his hand, right? Life and death. So when your time is up and when your family's time is up, that's when you go. Before that, nothing's going to happen. So if that robber's in your house and is about to shoot you and your family, and you're like, maybe it's my time. Maybe I'm done. Like whatever mission, whatever role I played in this grander story of God's narrative, if it's over, it's over. Like I'm not going to do anything about it. What am I going to freaking live another day
and
by
if it's
sheer
not,
will and silencers?
Right. But if it's not, it's not.
And if it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
So,
Ben, I mean, you're definitely onto something here as far as what our faith should look like, right? I mean, it goes back to like even the storm with the boat, right? And they're like, Jesus, we're gonna die. Like, don't you care? And then he gets up, he silences it all. Like he does a miracle, right? That they literally thought they're gonna die.
Dude, that's a great point. Hey, they all were like in fear for their life, but Jesus is sleeping.
Right.
Probably because he knew.
Right. Nothing was going to happen.
I got more stuff to do. Like, what the heck are you guys freaking out about?
Right.
Like, we know we're not going to die.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And he modeled that, right? I mean, that was his modeling. He tried to show them that. And what did he say right after that? Well, you have little faith, right? Like, why are you cowards? Call them cowards.
I know, but I want the NRM in Ireland to be successful and to punish people. I just,
you know what? That's the righteous, in you, because you want the justice that is in you because of the Holy Spirit. You want to see justice, right? You want righteousness. You want to see the evil punished. Those are good things. That's not bad. It's not bad to want those things. I don't think at all. But I think it's just how we go about them.
yeah,
And I think the battle is always, and you've said this many times, the battle is always in our home, first and foremost, and then in our local communities, our church groups, our workplaces. That's where the battle is. And that's what we have, a play in. That's our mission field, right? Is where God sets us and where he planted us.
for sure.
And that's where that's where the fight, when we talk about spiritual warfare, we talk about these things, like we need to be focused more, I think, on that. It's good. It's okay. Fine. We talk about these things. It's good to touch on these things. It's like, oh, did you hear this? This is crazy. This is happening, But those are the results of it not happening
For sure.
in our local communities and
Yeah.
our mission fields. I tell people this all the time with work, like when they're like, should I move? Should I leave? Like, hey, did you finish what God had given you to do there?
Yeah. Yeah. The idea of having and being on a mission, is kind of crazy.
But that ties into creation. It ties into the whole point of Jesus, right? It ties into salvation. It ties into taking back the nation, his people. Like, it ties into the rescue plan. It's all part of that. The war language that we hear in the Bible, or we read in the Bible, put on the spiritual armor, right? The whole armor of God. It's on purpose for the fact that we are in a fight. We're at a war. Who is it? Is it John Piper that says, like, I'm going to butcher this a little bit, but he says that life is not always war, but it is always that. And it's constantly war. We have to understand that as husbands, as dads, as wives, as people in our business. There's missions there. There's a reason why we're placed where we're placed, not just for ourselves. Sure. God doesn't care where we work. He doesn't care how much money we make. He doesn't care about that stuff.
No.
Yeah, at all.
Let me ask that earlier question in a different way. Okay. If you had the choice for a total stranger who's got a gun to your head, okay, to be saved at some point in the future, you don't know the timing, you don't know. You don't even know if he's going to be saved. Okay? But there's a possibility. Would you let him kill you?
That's a good question. That reminds me of what Paul says when he says, I would be accursed for my people
to save Israel.
Yeah. And it's that, I mean, he goes beyond what your question asks, because for me, death is nothing.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. He said he said he would go to hell.
Yeah,
he'd
be accursed, right? That's the difference, but it alludes to it, where would you sacrifice for
you?
Yeah.
Would you die? Would you die?
In a heartbeat.
You'd be like, bro, kill me.
Yeah.
But I want you to know Jesus.
100%. Because I know what my life brings. I know that God is going to take care of my daughter. I know that, I really do have that faith, Ben, that he's got me. He's going to take care of me. Would
you do the same if it was your daughter on the receiving end?
That's the difference, you see, and that's where the God Jesus story comes in, right? The father son, dynamic comes in, right? Because it's one thing for the father to sacrifice himself, but it's another thing for the father to sacrifice his son. And that makes the whole, story of Jesus even way more wonderful. And man, it should just devastate us in such a good way,
Because the reality is, we know we're good. Right. We go to heaven. We're eternity with Jesus. We're primo. We're good. Screw this. I'm out. Mission accomplished.
Good.
Time up. I'm good. Daughter, good. Wife, good. Parents, good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
you are
Mhm.
probably going to hell.
Yeah.
But if I don't shoot you in the face right now with my freaking silence 557, right?
Bro, this is a great question.
If I
I
don't
love the
shoot
way
you in
you
the
ask this
face right
question.
now, and I just tell you, hey, I want you to know Jesus loves you, and I'm about to go to heaven, but you're going to go to hell unless you meet him.
Yeah.
You know, and then he freaking shoots you in the head.
Yeah, I mean,
What kind of
just the ability to share the gospel before you die. Like, hey, man,
what kind of impact do you think that would have on a dude for the rest of his life? Do you
oh,
think
yeah, dude.
you think he would go to sleep every single night, like seeing your face and hearing your words constantly?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Haunting.
It would haunt the shit out of that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and literally,
And it
and
would
when
be
I say that, I mean the shit, like the demons would be. That's how haunted he would be.
right.
You know what
And
I'm
not
saying?
just him, he's going to share the story with other people. And like, you'll never believe that what happened.
There's no
Yeah.
way somebody like that wouldn't
Yeah.
eventually come to Christ. There's
Yeah.
no way you could live
The
with yourself.
return,
There's no way.
The word does not return void.
But if you shoot him in the face, he's going to hell.
He's going to hell.
You're sending him to hell, guaranteed, 100%.
Yeah.
Case closed.
You're the judge in that situation.
You are the judge. You see what I'm saying? Oh man, it's too hard. What did you read? What'd they say?
I think it was from an old question there, glow up, probably M15. I don't know what that means.
Dude, do we have stuff in the comment? Can you read what's going on in there? We're supposed to be hanging with our friends.
I
And
know,
we're
but there's like nothing in there.
We're spazzing out about.
Yeah, it's a slow night. Very slow. Ben, I love this question, man.
It's a hard one, man, because I want the people in Ireland to take out the globalists.
Me too, bro. Me too, man.
But I don't know if they should. But they delight. This is the thing. They delight in evil. Aren't there psalms and stuff about this?
Yeah. I mean, there's the poetic side of that. But that's true. I mean, that's just what it is. Evil spurs evil.
And if nobody stops those who delight in evil, won't they just keep doing the evil? But then at the same time, God's the one that would have to stop the evil.
Yeah, and he does, right?
And,
He's the one
he does.
Yeah, because it doesn't stop on its own. So I think that's what it is. It just doesn't stop on its own. Like, I think it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like the days of Noah. I mean, obviously, I was talking to my mom about this earlier. I'm like, not everyone knew of Yahweh.
Right.
People knew just of other demon gods, right?
Right.
And so where was I going with this?
You're talking to Mom about
this. But there's a reason why I brought that up, and now I'm trying to tie it into what we were talking about, and I lost my moment there. Dang it! Totally lost the glue. Yeah.
Dude, so old.
I know, bro.
So old. That's a hard one for me, man. That's such a hard one. And I we've been watching because like I said, my parents have been in town. Dude, they've been with me for 3 months. They come because they live in Romania. Left? They just left today. They live in Romania, and they'll come stay with us 2-3 months out of the year.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's great. But we were watching House of David.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, I'm all caught up on The Chosen. Finally. I know. Geez, it took forever. But we were watching like House of David.
Did you finish House of David?
Season 1. Now there's season 2. Which
they put it out already?
Yeah.
No, already?
It's so lame. You have to get some other subscription within Amazon. It's like $3 a month or something.
Dude, they're just killing us with these.
I don't know. Stupid. Anyway, but I've got it for free. I have other means. I'll let you know because it's legal. Hey,
we have enough problems, Ben.
Yeah. I know, we're so stupid. My next thumbnail is going to be like me illegally screaming.
I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, at some point, Ben and I will be going to jail. Just so you know.
She's like, I pray for you. I pray for Jesus, for an angel to open the gates.
No, she doesn't have that.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. If God doesn't want you in jail, He's going to open the door, and you're just going to like walk out. And the guy that was supposed to be guarding you is going to be converted.
Okay, so Ben,
That's what I'm talking about, though.
But what does it take to live that kind of life, to experience those kinds of things?
I don't know. The apostle saw some crazy stuff.
Right. So, okay, let's hang on here for a second, because this is important. This is where I think, like, this is where people think I'm crazy, but, or, you know, maybe too radical in some certain ways. And I try to like not talk about this too much, but like, I believe that, like, I believe the reason why we don't see those kinds of things, because we're just not living these radical lives that we should. And
sure.
Forget even saying radical. It's actually the way that we're supposed to live. It's just radical because we're so far from it. But that's what it is, Ben. Like, we don't see these things in our life, like these miracles and these crazy things happening, because we're not living the Christian life, bro. Like, we're what you're talking about when you ask that question of, should you defend or let it happen, right? And and how deep you go with it. Like, that's a really tough question, but we can apply that same logic to every part of our life, right?
For sure.
And how we should treat people, how we should make money, how we should spend money, how we should serve others. There's so many things that we can look at. How should we be parents, right? How should we parent our kids? We can apply that same logic because what you're talking about, that question is a radical question. It's a crazy question. Most Christians would be like, dude, you're out of your mind. No, you blast the guy.
You
right?
Send him to hell.
Right. Like, that's what I think the majority of Christians would say.
Myself included.
Right. I mean, that's what I was leaning towards too myself. So, but when you really look at that and you start to dissect it like you did earlier, and you start asking a question, well, if God is sovereign over all this stuff, and this is a chance for this person he still has a chance to meet the Lord. And yet, you know where you're going, because you're good. You're good. When you think about it that way, like, that's kind of like dying to yourself in that moment, right? That's putting that other person first,
right?
And the opportunity for that person to have eternal life first over yourself and your own flesh. And that's a form of dying to yourself. So then you could apply that to every part of your life. You know, Jesus said, like, why are you using your sword after Peter did that? Like, don't you think I could call a myriad of angels right now to come?
Exactly.
Right. So he knows, like, what he can do and what could happen if needed, but obviously he knew the plan. But even in our lives, we know we're good. We know that this body is just a temporary house, right? Like, that we're just hanging out, and we're going to get new glowing bodies. That's what I think, in the afterlife. And it's going to be so glowing. It's going to be so cool. Yeah, man. And I know you love that. I explained that to my mom earlier today. She's like, interesting.
Go on.
Oh, man. But yeah, I think, like, you apply that to every part of your life, those radical kind of ways of thinking. And that is, I think, kingdom living. I think that's like, okay, I'm going to live differently than the rest of this world. And well, let's see what happens. I'm going to see some miracles. I'm going to see things actually happen around my life, for the glory of God, for his glory, not just to see him.
Right.
But it's for, for you to say that you would let the guy kill you. That's for God's glory, for the potential of this person coming to know Jesus.
Well, it's martyrdom, because I could kill him.
True.
But I'm not going to, because I have faith in God.
Right.
And as a result of my faith in God, I will die.
Right.
I'm not saying this is what I'm doing. I'm just thinking it out loud, right? Because I'd probably shoot the guy. And earlier I said 5'7". How embarrassing. It's 5'6". Sorry. It's been haunting me. And here, okay, so House of David. And David kills Goliath. But I realized David killed Goliath after he was already anointed by Saul. Right?
Yeah.
Saul already told him, hey, God anointed you. You're going to be freaking king.
So you're thinking, like, hey, this guy can't kill me anyway, because I'm going to be anointed king.
God said, I'm going to be king.
Yeah, but that requires faith, right? That requires him saying,
that guy is
talking junk.
talking junk on my God, I can't die
Right.
because I
I'm
need
good.
to be king. That's what God said. So I'm good.
Yeah, I think
I'm
we
gonna
missed
go
part of
do
that
something
story.
against this
Yeah,
guy.
that's not really
I'm gonna
told in the
stand up to
story.
this guy.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it almost seems like he knew he's kind of maybe invincible until he's made king. He doesn't know what's gonna happen after that, but at least he knows he's got to be made king.
What
So
if
wouldn't
that's
you?
why he had the balls to do all those wars and fight all his people? And he's like,
That's what I'm saying.
David slain, Saul
Tens of
killed,
thousands.
yeah, thousands, and David tens of thousands. Yeah, bro. Like, what if like that's why he had like just like the biggest balls in history,
Bro,
because he just knew, hey, I got, and but that requires faith,
For
right?
sure.
That requires like
For
him
sure.
believing. Listen, he was anointed by an old dude, that said he's going to be the king of Israel.
Yeah.
Someday. Didn't give him wind, didn't give him, and then he goes and he leaves. And he's like, so David's faith had to be so strong. Dude, I mean, that's some pretty crazy faith, man.
Yeah.
That's some wild faith.
It is, but I don't know how accurate Amazon's portrayal is of the accounts. But when Saul touched David, he has this like crazy experience.
But
what do you mean, nah? You
it
don't
could
know
be.
that.
No, I know. No, I'm not saying it's
We
not
don't
a
know
stretch.
that.
It's not a stretch.
We don't know that he didn't have some insane experience. And hey, these guys all had dreams. They all had visions. God spoke. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I believe. I thought. Hang on. I thought about this when I was seeing that, because I thought about the same thing, because I was like, wait a second. At first, I'm like, well, we don't know about this, but then I'm like, well, that actually would make sense of why his faith is so strong. Like why he was able to do this, because
you think he just mustered that up on his own accord because he's a good shepherd boy that likes to sing songs in the hills?
Dude.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Probably had, dude. Joseph had visions.
Yeah.
Abraham had visions. Like all these guys had visions. You know what I'm saying? So they probably knew through experience, hey, this is real. There's something going down. And when they were in the thick of it, that's what they relied on for their faith. But it still wavered, There were still issues for all these guys. But I'm just saying, David kills Goliath probably because he knew his mission wasn't over. God said, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to make you king. And until then, he's probably like, I could freaking do anything. You know what I'm saying?
He probably thought, hey, maybe when I kill Goliath, maybe that's when they'll make me king. Who knows?
Oh, for sure. Because that's, in the story, Saul was promising, oh, you can marry my daughter or something like that.
Yeah. So he'll be like next in line.
But in history, when two champions would go to war against each other, you're like next to the king.
Yeah.
In terms of power, you just saved your entire army from enslavement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or from enslavement, because that's what the champion thing was. Who's ever champion bests the other one, the other people surrender and you become their slaves, So I don't know, man. I don't know. We got to look more into this faith thing.
Well, I mean, and if we fast forward, bro, it's all about faith. Now that you just said that, I had to say this. Like, it's all about faith. Faith is everything, dude.
I mean, I can kind of see that.
Faith is everything. Faith is like every day of your life. Like, you have to live on this faith. Like,
but faith is just like, it's such an overused but underrated word. Like, we don't. What the heck does that mean? Oh, you have faith. Okay. What does that mean?
Complete trust
in God.
Confident trust in God. Confident trust in God in a lot of ways. So in not just what you're facing necessarily, not you're just your giants, but in every aspect of your life. Like, faith has to drive everything you do. I think that's the Christian life. I think like the way, like I think it's all faith. Like, everything that it comes down to is your faith in the finished work of Jesus, which translates to you are his.
Yeah, because if you think about it, God's going to do whatever the hell he wants.
Right.
Whatever the heaven he wants. Yeah. right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you're not going to do anything apart from the plan.
Right.
You're not deviating, you're not surprising God, you're not sovereign, you're right? You're in his we're operating in his will
Right.
and only in that. Like there's nothing else that can happen. So no matter what, if you have faith that his will is being done in any situation, like you said, work, spouse,
All of
anything,
it.
school,
All of it.
life, robber, anything, right? So when Jesus says, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move this mountain or throw it into the sea or whatever it is, right? I wonder if he's serious. Because if you have faith in God that he could literally take that mountain and put it in that ocean,
Right.
and if that's part of his plan for that mountain to be put in that ocean, it's going to happen.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
But it's interesting. But I want to catch people who are listening to this. How you said that? You said if you believe he can, and
If it's his will.
if it's his will.
Yeah.
It's not just do it, God. Let me see you move that mountain.
Yeah, because this isn't name it and
I
claim
believe
it.
you can do it, God. I believe you can do it. I believe you can do it. I really do believe you can do it. And then he doesn't do it.
Right.
That's not. It's does it align with his will?
Yeah. Because otherwise you're the name it and claim it dudes. The prosperity gospels.
That's exactly what it turns
the
into.
Manifestation, new age bull crap.
Yeah.
You know
it's taking truth and splitting it in half. Like I said last time we were on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of truth and deception. And that's it's fractured faith. It's fractured how we believe things. It's the perversion, right, of the text. And it happens all the time. Dude, I watched this. Oh my gosh. Not to go into it too much, but my parents were watching a sermon. Oh, man, it was
worse.
So bad, dude.
The worst.
Bad. But after that conversation, my parents and I had this conversation, I think for the first time, because my parents don't believe in once saved, that always saved. And so we always have these discussions. I love them.
Yeah.
And I asked my dad last night, both my mom and my dad, but my dad, I was more talking to him. And I said, so if you could lose your salvation, why didn't you lose yours yet? And he literally stopped. He's like, and he looks at my mom. He's like, Bukati, kakare. He's right. Like, I think he's right. I think he's right. Like that's what did it. And what was interesting, Ben, is we were talking before this. I know I'm getting off tangent a little bit here, but we were talking for a while and just going back and forth. And like, there's nothing I can say that would convince him.
Right.
And as we're talking, I started praying. I'm like, Holy Spirit, can you just do something? Like, give me something to say to him that would make sense. Yeah. And like immediately that line came out of my mouth. And that's what my dad literally stopped my dad in his tracks. He's like, oh my gosh. And then he started to look at my life and then my mom's life. And then and he's like, oh my God, you're right. You're right. Like, and I think that's what did it. So I'm letting him sit with it for a little bit and we'll revisit it a little bit. Yeah. Let the Holy Spirit cook. But yeah, man, I think we that faith thing though, it's like but it's the faith in the finished work. I just finished another book because you recommended by Gerard Ford. The
Heidelberg on being a theologian of the cross.
Yes, great book, highly recommend it. And then he has another book he wrote called Justification of Faith, a Matter of Death and Life. And I just finished it, and it's good. It's really good. It breaks off of kind of the other book, and it dives deep into like how we present the gospel. But it talks a lot about faith there and how it is like faith in the finished work of Jesus is everything. And how Paul keeps coming back to it every single time. And it's just something that needs to be the foundation of our lives, like of our thinking, of our theology, of our doctrines, of our traditions. Everything has to come back to the cross. And if we live from there, man, life is just completely different. And it changes the way we think of things and the faith that the fact that we have to apply faith to almost every situation. And listen, when you do that, when you apply faith, you have freedom, you have no anxiety, right? Stress levels
are even in failure,
right? In failure too, right?
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that. I was meeting someone earlier today. I'm starting a hospice chaplain position next week. And so I'm meeting with someone, a chaplain in the hospice world, that I'm just trying to glean and learn and get as much as I can get poured into me. And he said, this is the best job that you can fail at, because they won't be around. And I know it was kind of crude, but it was like, I was like, oh, that makes sense. But he gave me that gave me a lot of freedom in that. Cause I'm like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, he's like, try things, do things, like, let God work, cause he's going to work in ways that it might be unconventional to you.
Bro, if you don't freaking lay hands and pray for people to be healed and stuff, I'm gonna be so pissed. You better.
Well, hospice is different because hospce, they kind of like, they're like, it's done.
I
Like
know,
we know.
I've been in hospice
You've been
for 20 years.
Yeah, way more than I do. So, he was talking about that. He's like, yeah, healing is not what they're asking for. If anything, they're asking you to pray that God would take their life.
Right.
And so that was really interesting. I'm like, I don't know if I can pray that.
I mean, people in the Bible did.
Yeah, they did ask for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, bro, this question about what would you do in those situations, or like faith in God for protection and stuff like that, came up from watching House of David.
Yeah,
because especially like last night, there's this huge battle scene in season 1, at the beginning of season 2, because season 1 ends with Goliath dying.
Yeah.
Season 2 starts with the battle after Goliath falls, and it's like a wild battle. It's pretty cool. But I'm just like, it's pretty wild that the Hebrews in the Old Testament rocked every single freaking nation they fought against when God was with them. With them.
Mm-hmm.
Only then. Every other time they'd get annihilated, right?
Yeah, dude.
But when in his will, it didn't matter. 10-1.
Didn't matter.
Didn't matter. You got giants. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Freaking Pebble takes them out. Like, doesn't matter.
Yeah. And that's usually was the case. That was all. It's like they were always up against a bigger army. They never overpowered another army. Never had.
They were just like shepherds, and they were just like, they weren't this advanced. Like,
well, they did have skills.
They
did have skills.
Schmill. Hey, the Philistines had iron.
Yeah, they had like timber or something.
Iron.
No. I'm saying Israelites had like.
They had bronze. They were in the Bronze Age, which is standard, right?
All right.
And the Philistines had advanced technology. Think about it like today's terms. You got a dude with guns versus a dude with missiles, and the guy with freaking guns keps winning somehow. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the hell?
So cool, man.
What about our missiles? But I'm just saying, when God was for them, right, and they were in his will and they had his blessing and stuff like that, it didn't matter the odds. They would always rock them.
Yeah.
So much so that even the other nations were like, oh, the freaking Hebrews. It doesn't matter the odds. Somehow, with their God, like, everybody gets rocked by them.
Yeah.
The other nations recognized it. They just could not be conquered, And it's unexplainable by any other means, because that's not how it works.
Right.
Like, if you have the numbers and you have the tech, you win. Those are the laws of life, right? And physics, and that's just how it goes. So obviously, it was a supernatural thing. So much so, remember, is it the Philistines? They take the Ark of the Covenant at one point?
Yeah.
Because who was it that brought it to the battle? Was it David? Who was it that brought the Ark to the battle at one point?
I think it was Saul that did it.
And then it got captured by the Philistines.
Captured. Yeah.
Because they thought it was a weapon.
Right. Yeah.
Because they thought it was a freaking weapon.
Yeah, dude.
Because they thought this is how they keep winning these damn battles.
Yeah.
Even though we should be winning.
Right.
We got the numbers and the tech. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they captured it, but they all started getting sick. So they gave it back.
Yeah. And then everywhere it went, it was just like disaster. And then it like got to a place where it was good. And they're like, oh. And then that place was being blessed by it. Yeah. That's even crazier too. Like there's other places like totally fine. They're like, yeah, like keep it here. Like we're good.
But God forbid that they actually acknowledge it's the God behind this thing.
Right.
They actually thought it was the thing.
Yeah. Dude.
You know what I'm saying? But all that to say, even as a nation, okay, if you're within God's will and protection and whatever, his people, okay, even as a nation, doesn't matter the odds, doesn't matter the Muslim takeover, doesn't matter, none of that matters. Like, God's got you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If battles go down, no matter what, like what he wants will unfold. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we see over and over again in the Bible, like over and over and over again. He always does it. Every time he wins something, or it's always in that fashion. It's never a
Yeah.
fair fight.
Well, no, because then it would make sense.
Right.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
and everything he does, even in his healings, even in his, the way he goes about things, it's always that. I mean, come on, what was it, Jehoshaphat, when he was like, yeah, just sing a song and I'll wipe them all out for you while you sing a song.
But that's the thing, dude. That's the thing. That's why so much of this stuff in the Old Testament always seemed really fairy tale-ish
Yeah.
and imaginary and whimsical. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't seem real,
Right.
unless that faith element is true.
Mm-hmm.
And like Israel and the kings and the prophets and the people that were like taking out entire nations 10 times larger than them all had faith in God.
Right.
Like went into the battles with faith in God.
They had to, though.
I'm just gonna go like this with my
close
sword.
my eyes and
I'm just gonna swing, and like people are gonna run into the tip of the blade.
God's
with their
like,
neck,
oh,
with
that's
their
adorable.
Necks, with their necks, you know. I'm just, and everybody's just like around me, like,
You're like, wow, I'm doing so good.
Just aorta is popping. He's like, you know, or think about, or Goliath gets hit in the head with a pebble.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Yeah. And then, yeah, I know.
It's
so wild.
Funny.
All of it.
It's
every
so
single
fun.
time.
Either that. Okay. So it's either that. It's either like hilarious, like this, you know, and pebbles to the head, or the Hebrews were savage, like jacked, crazy elite warriors.
No,
Doesn't matter who's running at them. They're just like just freaking chopping dudes in half.
I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
No,
because I don't know if the history,
I mean, one of their first battles, right? Like, was against like freaking giants. And this was like after 40 years of being in the wilderness, right? Like, they don't even have a change of clothes. Like, they're like, and then they go and they're like, go take that land. Like, okay.
Well, they had pillar fire.
Well, yeah. Well,
because that's the thing. God said, I will give it to you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, when God told them things and they did it, it went well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Without fail.
Feel like that's a really, really, and even then it was because of faith. If they didn't believe God, they wouldn't have been successful.
Well, right. I mean, going back to the Jehoshaphat one, it's like they all had to start singing a song. Like, they all started singing. Like, they literally just sat there and started singing. They could have said like, no, are you crazy? We're going to go like fight, or we're going to run. Like, we're not going to just sit here and sing, right? Stand here and sing. So that's an action that God, like, he's like, hey, look, you guys sing, I'll handle the rest. Right.
How did
you got to sing.
The enemies die?
They killed themselves. God confused them and they killed themselves. Yeah. It's a coolest story. And what's really cool is Jehoshaphat says before this, Jehoshaphat, like, his declaration was, God, we don't know what to do, but our eyes are on you. And he says this line that's just so beautiful, and that our eyes are on you. We don't know what to do, but our eyes are on you. And then the next day, basically, he tells them through a prophet, all right, go to the top, like, present yourselves, go to the mountain or whatever, get ready, get like in battle formation, and then praise me. Okay.
And then what?
Yeah. Well, we read, like, just the next event. And then they started singing a song, like all of them started singing. Right. And then the whatever nations that came up against them, God confuses them so that they fought each other. And then they were literally singing a song, watching these nations just eradicate each other. Damn, like right in front of them. I mean, that's like so wild, but we read it in that succession, right? Like, but if you sit in it for a little bit and you're like, okay, try to imagine yourself as one of those people. Like, all right, this guy just told me that we're going to go up there and sing a song. Like, what is he thinking? Who is he, out of his mind? Like, what kind of leader is this? Like, how many things would be thrown around? So they had to believe. They had to believe, Ben. Like they had to have this faith. Like
The faith thing, bro, it's kind of
it's the
seems like
biggest
it's
thing.
extremely important.
Now let's translate that into our life today, right? Because we can sit here and talk about these Old Testament stories that are amazing that will never run into a war like that in my life, right? If I do, I'm going to go sing. I'm going to try it.
When the robber breaks into your
I'm
house,
just going to start singing.
you're just gonna start singing, and the guy's gonna be like, "Holy crap, this guy's insane! I'm out of here."
And I'll be like, "Hey, thanks, it worked, God." Look.
That's probably what would happen. The guy would think you're insane.
But yeah, and then no one will believe my story. But like, that's the thing. I think like we have to apply that in our life, that radical faith, that like pure faith in Jesus, like in all circumstances. Dude, imagine, Ben, if you did that. Like, just imagine, think of one thing in your life right now. Hang on. Think of one thing in your life right now that it requires a lot of faith. And you're just like, we're kind of struggling in that, right? Just think of one thing. You don't have to say it. Just think of it. And then, where you're at right now, how you're looking at it, how you're kind of, trying to juggle it, trying to deal with it, trying to wait, whatever you're doing. And then try to apply like faith to it and just say things like declare it, say it like, I believe you. I believe that you want good. I believe that you have good for me. I believe that I am yours. I believe that you love me. I believe that everything is under your sovereign will in my life. And I believe that no matter what I have to go through, no matter how this thing works out, I trust in you, that you are good. And this will be for my good, no matter how this turns out. Like really apply that and say these words and believe them and talk to whoever is else in this situation and say these same things and pray this and do this tomorrow again. And then do this again to the next day and the next day. I think that that's the way we increase our faith. We build our faith. We sit in faith. We're confident. David says, I look expectantly with confidence. I wait on the Lord, my Savior, my God who hears me. With confidence, I confidently expect the Lord. I wait for him. I look expectantly. It's not just a waiting like, oh, I hope he does it. No, it's a waiting of like, God, whatever you're doing, it's going to be good.
Right.
And I trust you. Now apply that to every part of your life, man. And I think that that's the Christian life, that's in, and it not just in personal, but with people. And we can teach people this. Man, you know how many problems like you can avoid with this? Like how much stress your stress will go away. Your anxiety just dissipates, man. It goes. It melts away.
It's almost easier to imagine you'd start singing when the robber comes in, and that's when you'd have faith in a crazy situation or at a war, than in like the daily mundane stuff.
Yeah. Well, because waiting is the hardest thing. It's not like the things that happen in an instant, like you kind of, I think it's like more instinct that comes out. So like if you're a man of faith, I think that that instinctively faith will come out when you're in high pressure situations. I think that if you're rooted in faith, I think that faith pours out of you when you're in high pressure situations. Now, when you're in waiting though, in seasons of waiting, I think differently, because I think that it's more of a mind game at that point where it's like, all right, you got to keep your mind set on God for however long he wants. Our job is just to keep our mind set on him. It's not to, okay, I'm going to do it for a week, and if nothing happens, I'm going to make a decision.
Right.
How many times have I've heard that, growing up, like, okay, we're going to pray about this, but nothing happens. We're just going to pressure decisions and situations. Yeah, there's grace in that comes out, that even if we make a bad decision, we still have to know that we're doing the best we can in that moment, and we trust God for the rest of it. But in the waiting, that's hard, man. The waiting is really, really hard. Yeah, David talks a lot about waiting, and the prophets, and that's how I've gleaned a lot from about wait, because I'm in seasons of waiting in my life too. You're in seasons of waiting in your life. Everybody is, I think, to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And so, but we have to learn how to wait well. I think that's a big one in our Christian walk and faith, and it grows our faith too. Because listen, when you are waiting well, with confidence, with hope, with joy, that's what the Bible teaches us, to wait with joy. Like that's hard, man. That's so hard. But when you can do that stuff, man, it increases your faith. It builds your faith, and then other people see it, and I believe that that's what moves the hand of God. I really believe that that's when things start to happen and start to click, he just showers that on you. I'm seeing it in my life right now.
Think about all the examples in the Bible where God acts because he sees the faith of somebody, you know?
Right. Totally. I used to say this
Even
for a
after
while.
like years of
Yes.
struggle or pain or asking or, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's pretty wild.
I believe that. I used to say this quite a bit. Like, hey, faith is what's going to activate like the spirit to move. It's going to act. The faith activates. It's not begging the spirit. It's having faith in what the spirit can do
Yeah.
and what God can do. That's where I think what he wants for us. And that's what he's growing and cultivating in us in this sanctification that we're going through. And what beautiful part of this is at the end, like when we're glorified, it's faith and hope will dissipate. It's only love that remains, because we'll be able to see we don't need hope anymore. We'll see we don't need faith anymore. We're going to be there. And so love is going to remain. But now we need those three. We need the love, we need faith, and we need hope. That's how we not conquer or the conquest. No, it's the what is Paul? Paul talks about this. Like I strive for this. I work hard towards this. He uses a word and it's escaping me right now. Contend for the faith. That's what he says. I contend for the faith. For what? For the faith. That's dude, is so important, Ben. I love talking about this topic, man.
It's an interesting one for sure, man. And watching House of David brings that through.
Well, how far will you take it? That's the question with
What, the
faith,
faith?
too. Yeah, like how far will you take faith? If you can have faith in certain things, right? But then you're like, I don't know if I have faith in those things, right? Like you got to take faith just continues to grow. Like it continues, you continue to push. Faith, the tests that come into your life is they're tests of faith, right? Paul says like, count it all joy, right? As you face trials of various kinds, because don't you know that the testing of your faith produces what? Endurance. So let endurance have its full effect, so that you may be found complete, lacking nothing. And so it's the testing that comes produces this endurance of faith, and it grows it.
Yeah, but compare that to our desire to not suffer, not have hardship, not struggle.
Yeah, I think we're missing it, Ben.
More comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's part of the problem.
Escape tribulation via rapture.
Right.
Like everything, modern Christianity is so like soft and comfortable.
Yeah. Or I don't even want to think about it.
The refining.
I don't want to think about aliens.
Sure. That too. The refining of the individual through hardship and the growth of their faith does not happen because of like Western comfort Christianity.
Yeah, that's why we're soft.
That's why we're soft, and that's why like people's faith is paper thin.
Right.
You know,
and that's why we have, the gender problem in America. That's why we have,
and in the church.
Yeah. That's why we have issues in the church that we have. The sexual sin. This is why, it starts there, right? I mean, it's this belief, it's this faith that Paul always went back to. And, I was thinking about like with the apostles too in the New Testament, like I used to have this question when I was growing up, like, how come they never talked about their daily lives? Like I always asked this question growing up and no one could ever really answer it. I'm like, how come they never talked about like the apostles, right? It's the New Testament. How come they didn't talk about like job and people not having jobs and like people like mortgages, like how come people like you never hear like, and mortgages, I know I'm just being silly, but like daily struggles. You don't hear anything about like daily life struggles or what they did. That's why we're so fascinated by The Chosen, because we're like, that probably.
Because that shows them being normal.
Yeah, and so I wondered like why they never wrote about that, why we never see this stuff, right? And I thought about it. I'm like, because they didn't care. Like their life was so focused on the kingdom of heaven and bringing it down to earth and like helping people understand and see the light. Like they were so focused. I know they had a mission, but they were so focused on building communities of people that did two things: love God with all their heart, mind, and soul, and loved other people. That's all the church was. Hey, love God and love people. That's what you need to do. And, we took that and started building churches and put people in places and put robes on them. And then we have our traditions that we made up that we're not even doing the traditions that, God ordained. We're doing our own traditions, right? Do you think about that sometimes, about like the Jewish traditions and the feasts and stuff? Like, I think it'd be cool to kind of partake in
Dennis.
those. I'm with them on that, man.
It's never far from my mind.
But I want to do them feasts too.
Yeah, that's another thing watching House of David. Okay. It's crazy that Israel and the law of Moses is the country that God at that point in time established.
Say that again. You lost me at mixing the law.
You
of
lost
Moses
me at
and-
Israel. So the country, right? The nation, after
Yes.
they leave Egypt,
Mhm.
they're not the Israel we're used to today, or even like the majority of the biblical Israel. When they left Egypt, they were just a bunch of Egyptian slaves, worshipped Egyptian gods. They didn't even know who Yahweh is.
Mhm.
Moses comes down with the 10 commandments, and Moses teaches them everything about Yahweh. And right, God through Moses created the nation of Israel,
Right.
like a country, a group
Right.
of people with a culture and beliefs, and
Right.
and laws and governance and
Mhm.
concepts and all of that.
Mhm.
God's just like, hey, in my country of my people, my like tribe,
Mhm.
here's what I want you guys to do. And here's how I want you to act. And here's what I want you to say. And here's how I want you to worship. Here are the celebrations. Here are the, like, it's pretty interesting that God gave think about a constitution
Mhm.
or what are some other documents for from our founding fathers or the establishment of this country, right?
Yeah.
Declaration of
I was
Independence,
just
all
going
these
to say
kinds of
that.
things,
Yeah.
right? So think about those that we hold to as a country. And we're like, our laws are based on this, and everything we do is based on these papers. And God's like, okay, but here are these papers, and I want you to make that country around this. And that is what the nation of Israel was, but not like always, because they always screwed up. Always screwed up.
Right.
But it's super fascinating to me. And thinking about like Christian nationalism and stuff like that, it's super fascinating to me that God actually handed those people like founding documents. And that made him happy. Like, here are the founding documents for this country. And when you do it, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to send you rain. I'm going to send you food. I'm going to let you win battles. I'm going to let you kill giants with pebbles. Like, whatever. We're good. When you're abiding by these founding documents for this country. How badass would it be to know that like your country was handed down to you by God?
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
And your system,
that gives you some. That gives you some
your government, your
Yeah.
governance, your religion, your education, your temple worship services, your teaching, like everything's just like given to you by God. And it's like all you got to do is like follow the papers. Like it's not that hard. And just don't do the stuff he says I don't want you to do. Just don't do that stuff and just do this stuff. And people were still like, no, I'm not gonna worship these other because that other tribe over there, they're doing some really cool stuff. And I'm so bored over here. You know, like what the hell is it in somebody that, and bro, I'm talking about early on.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like people that left Egypt in the wilderness were already denying God.
Sure.
And worshiping cows.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I see those memes of like Indians bathing in like cow urine. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that? Oh my God. I'm just like, Jews in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? How
I love that your mind goes there.
How freaking stupid.
Yeah.
You just had a pillar of fire.
Yeah.
And like a cloud of smoke and a Red Sea parting, and you go bathe in cow piss. Like it's incredible. But anyway, those people had a freaking country and a system got handed to them, and they still were like going out and fooling around with whoring themselves out with the gods of the other nations. You know what I'm saying? Like if you and I, if God gave us the Christian nationalist guidebook.
Right.
You know, like we went up on a mountain for 40 freaking days. We're like, oh my God, you know, bro, I would not, I'm not, God forbid. I'm just saying, I feel like I really wouldn't deviate.
Yeah, man. I think
I
about
would
this
just
because
do
I
it.
read.
I would just, whatever it says, I'd be like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like,
So
okay.
I read the Old Testament every morning, and when I read at night, I read the New Testament. That's just a thing I do. And I think I have this like I have this exercise in my head like every morning because every time I read it's like another fight, another war, another like miracle like from Yahweh, and it's like, dude, why don't they get it? You know, like how do you not get it? Now I could see like over time, you know, things changing, but like the early ones are the ones that get me the most. Like, bro, he just did all this stuff to get you out of this place and to bring you, and he's giving you food every day, and he's giving you water, and he's giving you quail. Now, like,
bro, he's giving you food from heaven.
Right. That you've never seen, and it just appears, you know, and dude, you have the same sandals on that you've worn for 40 years, right? Your clothes and your sandals didn't go away. Like they didn't. That's the cool.
Right.
I love that line, right? It's like, don't you see these miracles? Like, what are you? There's a pillar of fire. There's the smoke. There's the mountain that trembled when Moses was on top, and they're like, hey, you go speak to them, you know, to him, like not us. Like we're scared. Thunder and lightning and all this stuff happening, and a thick cloud around it. You know, what are you thinking? Like, how can you be like, yeah, you know, it was so much better back there.
Right.
Like,
but that, dude, that also. Do you think that that's because even in Egypt they saw stuff like that?
Good question.
So this wasn't something like novel and something for us who are in America and don't really engage with the supernatural too much. Maybe that to us would be like a life-changing experience that like will never be the same. Well, you know?
Listen, man.
But maybe in Egypt, which was like a demonic, satanic stronghold, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they saw stuff in Egypt as well. Maybe they saw lightning. Maybe they saw mountains shaking. Maybe they saw clouds and fire.
Well, that's not far-fetched because I mean there were these demon gods doing stuff, right?
Exactly.
Like they were.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they were seeing supernatural stuff.
That's the only way, to me, it makes sense that they would instantly want to go back.
Yeah.
After seeing all this insane supernatural stuff, they're like, "Oh yeah, but Egypt. What the hell did you see in Egypt?
But then again,
isn't that cool."
But then again, you know, the Bible always refers to like, remember the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, that split the sea, that gave you manna. Like it does mention these things over and over and over again for them to say, hey, this is like no one's, I don't think, ever split the sea, right? Like, so I think that Yahweh's, you know, miracles and phenomenons that he did were definitely bigger than all the rest. Right. So I think like that's the point. Like, hey, you see that your God is greater. Right. But there's something in us. I think that it's in our sin nature. Maybe it's in this. What I think it is we don't want to be lorded. We want to be Lord.
Maybe, but I'm cool. I'm down to be lorded. That's what I'm saying. If God gives me the documents,
are you
what to be lorded by God? Let's go. Yeah.
Well, hang on, because we have to talk about it in our life now. Like, yes, in the context of ancient world and how we're looking into their story and stuff.
Pillar of fire, bro.
I know, Ben, but like in our life, bro, like we have things that are so minuscule compared to what they had to endure or go through, and we fail in our faith so quickly. You know,
I guess, but I don't have the Christian nationalist guidebook from heaven.
Yeah, you do. It's the Bible. You have the Bible. I think like
it's pretty good.
You know, I think like we look at them because I catch myself all the time. I'm telling you, every morning I think about this. It's like, man, they're so stupid. But then like I do like an hour later, I'm just like, dude, I just did something so stupid, you know? And then again, an hour later, and then again, an hour later, you know, and it's this, I'm sorry, man, but we're I don't understand like the early ones, the early Israelites. I do kind of get it. Like the kids, I understand like because they were just hearing stories that were passed down,
Right.
right? And so that's different, man. And they're seeing if they're seeing all these other nations doing all this crazy stuff, right? And then
Right.
they just have stories,
But
you
they
know that.
had, but even the kids, they had judges, they had
Yeah, they had
they had
seers, they had prophets, they had
prophets,
people.
they had
Yeah,
temples, they had, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They
that's
had that
true.
stuff. They were part of the system. They're part of the
Yeah,
Israel that God established through Moses. They had the
yeah,
law. They saw the Levitic. They saw people or priests going into the temple and dying because they were unclean and they had to drag their ass out because the bell
yeah.
stopped twinkling. They heard those stories. You know what I'm saying? So they knew of like the
So,
supernatural and they knew the stories.
well, let's
But
ask this. Go ahead. Sorry, I keep trying to interrupt you.
but what is it that makes them still long for the gods of the other nations? You know what I'm saying?
Well, we see a couple things like when they became disobedient. There was two cases usually in which they became disobedient, or two reasons why. It was in their abundance,
Yeah, comfort. That's what I was talking about
right?
today. Yeah.
Okay, and the other one is usually sexual sin,
Mm,
right? The foreigners, the women, right? That would come over and then they would
the
twist them up and stuff. Yeah,
Jezebels.
the Jezebels, and and so like
Putas,
those are.
bro. Always the putas. I told you freaking months ago. I told you.
You did.
Comfort and putas.
Those two
Every
things,
freaking
like
time.
that's what gets
I'll get some.
yeah, especially men,
Get
right?
them. Yep.
And men were like, were the ones responsible for
Yep.
the
Yep. Yep.
nation and stuff. And so, that's when you see them always fall. They always mess up. They always every single time. It's in their obedience, in their abundance. And Solomon, it happened to Solomon. It happened to every single king. It happened to all of them, right? And so we see that as a pattern. So I think like there's something in us and in our flesh, in the sinful nature that gravitates towards that want of satisfaction, and that also comes from a lack of satisfaction in Christ. I think when we're lacking in satisfaction and connection with the Holy Spirit, like when we're not walking in the Spirit, we're gratifying the flesh, right? We're walking in the flesh. It's either one or the other. There's no middle ground there, and I think that's the thing. And walking in the flesh is what they did. It's just on a scale that was written about, historically for us to see in these really big ways. But it comes down to like just a daily life. Their daily life is what made the decisions, right? Is they let the foreigners come in. Not that they let them come in because God accepted them, but it's the don't mix with them. Don't
Right.
get married to them. Don't do this. Don't do that. And they all did it. I had this question, like, all the Israelite kings, and including David, they all had the Old Testament. Sorry, the 10 Commandments, but they all had multiple wives.
Does it say to only have one wife in the 10
Well,
Commandments?
don't commit adultery.
Yeah, but that's on your wife.
But they all had multiple wives.
Yeah, but if they're all your wives, you're not cheating on your
Well,
wife.
they have concubines.
Who, the kings?
Yeah,
Did all the kings have concubines?
I'm pretty sure.
Bro,
I'm gonna go on a limb and say yes.
we got needs. God will understand.
But isn't that interesting though? They all had
But we don't know.
They knew that's the law. They had it.
I'm gonna say something.
Oh man.
To try to get my boys out of this pit that they're in. Okay. How do we know they hooked up with them? Maybe they were just there for maybe they were just there for political allegiances and alliances.
Well, that was a part of it.
I know.
Yeah, that was a big
part of it. Then he'd go in and see them and be like, concubine, freaking take that. It's his concubine. But wait, how do we know he didn't? How do we know they weren't like his wives, even though they call him concubine?
Well, because they made a distinction. Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. And that's just
Okay,
Solomon.
let's do the math. Hold on. You think he slept with all of them?
Oh yeah.
At
for
least
sure.
once.
At least once. For sure.
How many? Say that again. Say those numbers again.
700 wives, 300
1,000
concubines.
chicks.
Mhm. Yep.
That's
Oh,
one every
bro.
three. That's one every 3 years.
Bro, there's that chick that's like banging at like 1,000 guys or something. Like she's all popular and stuff. They're like, do you know about this chick? She's really popular on socials.
That sounds disgusting.
Oh, it's disgusting. Yeah, she just lets this happen, and it just
Oh
and
my
that she made it. She made a life like because of this.
God.
Yeah, that's her whole thing.
Okay.
And
that's disgusting.
I know it really hurts my stomach.
I know.
But you know, so the possibility is very simple.
Okay. But if you have 700 wives and 300 concubines, some of those, he probably, I don't know if I could get them out of the hole. He
No, you
probably
can't,
he hooked up with all of them, right?
I mean, listen, David. I mean, Solomon was Bathsheba's son, you know, and it came through the
father like son.
Well, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But then even before that, I mean, all the other, and then even after that, before and after, I mean, they all had them. I think
so
Moses,
you're good with the
didn't.
700 wives, though, right?
What do you mean I'm good with that? I'm not good with any of it. I'm asking the question, like, didn't they know? Like, they knew the 10 Commandments. They had it. They followed the law, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. Is if when they followed the law, they were being blessed, but yet they were living in, against the 10 Commandments. I mean, I don't know, man. There's that to me is a little like weird, and I don't know. I mean, I was reading even this morning, and it said something about like how David did everything according to like how God wanted and according to his heart, except for the incident with Uriah and Bathsheba. So it said that like this is the Bible saying this, that like everything else he did was great except for that. And I'm just like, huh. Well, I think we could call out a whole bunch of other stuff that wouldn't be kosher.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The wives and concubine thing. I don't know. There's something. There's something there.
Well, that's why it just came out in my mind. I'm just like, well, I can't answer this. And I asked a couple of people, and they're like, yeah, I never thought of that. But there's some people that are just like, yeah, I'm not going to think about that ever again. Thanks. And me, I'm just like, well, I can't sleep if I don't figure this out. Like I gotta figure this out. It's weird. It's strange, but we don't see that like from like certain people. Like we do see certain people sticking to the Old Testament and the laws. Like, see Samuel was really strict on it. We see Moses was strict on it. I mean, so we do see that as well. The prophets all were. Well, then you had that one prophet that married God told him to marry a prostitute.
Yeah.
And have kids with her.
As an example of
like
the relationship.
Like,
hey, let me
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So God ordered him to marry a chick that was unfaithful to him.
Yeah.
Hey, let me read you ChatGPT's response to your question. The short answer is the Old Testament definition of adultery wasn't the same as ours. It was defined in a very specific, narrow legal sense, tied to patriarchy, inheritance, and covenant loyalty. In the Old Testament, adultery meant a married woman having sex with a man who is not her husband. What?
Wow.
In the Old Testament, adultery meant a married woman having sex with a man who's not her husband. Bro, this only applied to chicks. We're good. We're freaking good.
That's how they
the Hebrew word nachaf, its legal meaning was sex involving another man's wife. Oh. Okay, so you couldn't take other men's wives. That's adultery. Not that you can't have multiple wives or concubines or whatnot. A man having multiple wives, it does not refer to a man having multiple wives, a man having sex with his concubine who were legally part of their household, or polygamy in general. Adultery was defined around violating another man's marriage rights, not around one man having multiple women. Dude, I knew my boys were good. Examples, Leviticus
I don't
20.
know if your boys are
If
good.
a man commits adultery with the wife of his neighbor, Deuteronomy 22 defines sexual sin and always frames adultery as violating another man's marital claim. Now, this kind of makes sense to me, man. Hey, think about it.
It does make sense, yeah.
God promised that Abraham's descendants would be numerous as the sands of the seas, right? And even the concubines were part of the household. So technically, I mean, at that point in time, property, and those women would produce children to the man.
Yeah, the purpose was
That man is the head of the household, the heads of Israel, the tribes. The more children they make, the more they, I don't know, fulfill that covenant with Abraham, that promise to Abraham.
Right. Yeah,
and if, but I don't know, then why is it not okay for us for Christians to be polygamous today?
Yeah, I mean, I think because of what the apostles say, right? To be a man to one wife, you know.
That's only if you're in ministry, if you're a pastor.
Yeah.
That's specifically in the context of leadership in the church.
Yeah.
Hey, let me read this real quick. Polygamy was culturally and legally assumed, and that's in the founding documents of Israel that God gave to Israel, like to the you know what I'm saying? I don't know if God commanded it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying within the system that God deemed like, I don't know, acceptable. That was a norm. That was a complete norm. David, the man after God's own heart, how many wives, how many concubines, you know? And he was not called out for having multiple wives or concubines. He was called out for committing adultery with Uriah's wife.
That's exactly
hence violating his marital rights.
That's exactly right.
Right? Dang, bro. Look at us learning
Yeah.
the purpose of the commandment centered on protecting lineage and inheritance, not monogamy. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because then if you have a kid, oh man, oh, this is crazy.
Okay, so but what you're reading from is what like the Jewish interpretations are, right? I mean, you're not reading what the law of God was, you know, handed
For sure.
down.
Listen, that's what the large language models are, right? They're going to aggregate all the information that it can find on the subject in like a palatable way.
Right.
But this is not specific to what the Jews thought. This is what
The ancient
history,
world. Okay.
all the way to today,
Mhm.
what people have concluded on the subject.
Right.
And it's just presenting us that in a concise way.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
This doesn't mean the Bible endorses polygamy as ideal. The Old Testament describes polygamy. It rarely praises it. In fact, whenever polygamy appears in Scripture, it's usually accompanied by jealousy, rivalry, family dysfunction, chaos, violence, like Solomon's end. Yeah, but the homie had 700. You're asking for trouble. But tolerated is different than forbidden. The Mosaic law tolerated polygamy in the same way it tolerated slavery or Israelite kingship, not ideal, but regulated. Jesus shifted the definition. This is another point. When Jesus speaks about marriage, he goes back to Genesis 2:24. The two shall become one flesh. He describes adultery as a matter of the heart, not only legal boundaries. He describes adultery as a matter of the heart, not only legal boundaries. He says divorce and remarriage can constitute adultery. Dang. So the New Testament ethic recenters marriage on monogamy and mutual faithfulness. But this is later developed compared to Old Testament legal system. Dude, super interesting. Super, super interesting.
Yeah, because Jesus says like that's not what it was meant to be. You know, this is what your traditions and your rules say, but that's not what the heart of God. That's not what He wanted.
In regards to what?
To marriage. He said He wanted to have, because the question that they asked Jesus was, can a man divorce his wife for any reason?
Right.
right? Because
And
that's what
what's
they were
not the heart
doing
of
back
man?
then.
What's not the heart of God? To be divorced at
Right. To be
all, or
right.
to have
Right.
multiple wives?
Right. It's a divorce question. So
It's a
it
divorce
was,
question.
yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think
Um,
that this is actually
But then him saying that in the beginning he made them male and female so that and to become one flesh. I
but
don't
they
think
were
you
the
can
only
have
two people, dog.
right, but I think that's what he's applying to man and human now, or man and wife now, man and woman now, because you can't have one flesh with multiple people. You can't be in one flesh with multiple people,
Says
can
who?
you? I don't
Says
think
who?
that
There's
I
no
don't
math formula in the Bible.
thi-
This can only equal one flesh.
I think that that's what Jesus was trying to say. Like that's one flesh is husband and wife, male and female equals one flesh when they come
I
together.
think he was trying to say that divorce was never part of the plan because once you're united, you're united.
I think he's trying to say both.
Well, now you're shifting.
No, because I knew it was a divorce question for sure.
It-
But that's why he went back to the beginning and said, but in the beginning, God created male and female, and they would be one flesh.
I would, based on the context, we both agree it's definitively
divorce.
talking about divorce.
Mhm.
Now, if you want to read into it further, you can do that. You know, you can use.
Well, why would
this
why would he talk about male and female? Like
because
in the
that's
context
who
of
gets
divorce,
married, and that's who
they
gets
already
divorced. Males and females who are
right, but they
one.
already know that already. Like that was a given, right? Like why
But
would
that
Jesus
was his
have to find
intended
that?
creation, was for man and woman to be one. And then when you
Right.
get divorced, you break God's creation intent.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Now let's
mention
watch
of
this. Watch
multiple
this.
is not there.
One. Still one. Still one. And then if you divorce, unintended. I think the point in that statement is strictly about divorce. I don't think he's making a statement on polygamy at all. You know? And
I
it would be
disagree.
interesting. That's fine. You could say that.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to find out why polygamy in Christianity became a no-no. Because again, Old Testament, what did anything change morally between Old and New Testament? No.
Yeah. I mean, well, you have
the commandments are the same, the laws are the same, the cultural practices were the same. God, like Jesus didn't come and change any of that. All he did was recenter people's hearts. And that's why even chat says it was more so a matter of the heart, right? If you're just like lusting after putas, and so you just like marry them and you use the system just because you want to bang them once and like kick them to the curb or whatever, you know, put them in your harem of women, that's probably a sin. But a dude fulfilling his faithful covenant with his tribe to like take women and produce as many offspring as possible, I don't know, that provides for the tribe, you know?
Yeah.
So it's an interesting. I would love to.
It's
have
almost
somebody,
like it was needed almost in the early, like in the ancient world, like it was.
Oh,
Like
bro, it
necessary.
absolutely was.
Yeah.
It absolutely was. If you didn't have kids, it was a death sentence.
Yeah.
It was a death sentence. You're going to get to an age where you can't do stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to die, and your wife's going to die. And as a matter of fact, you already can't do a lot because one man and one woman can only do so much. Go out and try gardening. It's a full-time job for like a little corner of a yard. It's literally a full-time. Now add animals, now add predators, now add enemies, now add. If you don't have a big ass family to do all that work together, you're dead. You're dead.
You're done.
You're gonna freaking die in 2 years because the winter's gonna come.
Or you're overtaken and you become a slave.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you know. But that's what I'm saying. It served a purpose, right? It served a purpose. And it, like it said, with slavery, it was regulated in the law. You know, if it was not, slavery is never condemned. Well, I shouldn't say never. There's cases where it is condemned, but I'm saying slavery as a whole, God doesn't say do not have slaves. There was a purpose for them, and it was regulated. Polygamy, it does not say do not ever have multiple wives. That is a sin. It was regulated. And
I mean, they didn't
and then Jesus and the New Testament again goes after the heart, not the cultural practice. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. Those Mormons onto something. I'm just kidding, bro.
Well, this was interesting.
We started with freaking the new Republican movement threatening the globalists in Ireland and
We
ended on
ended with
polygamy.
Polygamy.
Classic 2-hour Menace the Menace conversation.
Classic.
Absolute classic.
We're back, Ben.
We're back, baby. And when I say baby, I'm talking about my multiple babies. You know, you're my baby. You're my baby. You're my baby. Dude, so
This was
funny.
fun. We'll be on in a couple days, I think, right?
Thursday.
Hopefully Thursday night. And hopefully we'll get some answers. Maybe we'll look up into the polygamy stuff. Yeah. Hey, Ben.
Dennis, you're in the dating scene, bro. You gotta put that in your.
I'm gonna change my profile.
Put that in your bio or whatever it is. Be like,
must be open to polygamy.
Must be biblical polygamy.
LDS, but not
biblical polygamy. I'm talking about OT, baby.
Oh my gosh,
I'd
probably get
OT
like
relationships.
I wonder.
Old Testament.
I wonder if that'll come back.
Polygamy. I already saw it. The reason I was asking, it's not because I want multiple wives. The reason I was asking is because I saw a guy. He was in the news recently. A pastor out of
yes,
Alabama or something. Classic Alabama move. And he's trying to bring back polygamy, or at least
he introduced like
wives.
his second wife. Yeah, and I think they're both having babies or something.
They're both having kids, and he's like, yeah, we're making Christian babies. And at the same time, it's like, hold on.
This is crazy, dude.
We got to think about this.
Yeah.
It is crazy, but is it crazy?
Ben, I love that you always push the boundaries.
I'm trying to understand. You know who I am in The Chosen? I'm Matthew. I'm the one that is, well, Matthew's like super autistic. I'm just curious.
Yeah,
and I want to know why. Okay.
I love it.
Because if the Muslims get to make a shit ton of babies, if the Mormons get to make a shit ton of babies, why don't we get to make a shit ton of babies? You know what I'm saying?
How wild if we did go down that rabbit hole and then like we start talking to people about
Christianity makes a comeback.
Yeah. Like
I don't know, man, because this is why
should we go on a mission and be like, okay, guys, who can we talk about with polygamy?
This is why I'm asking, because I want to know why.
That would be a great episode, though.
It stopped. Why did it stop in Christianity?
Mm-hmm.
What in the Bible? I've read the Bible.
Yeah,
it doesn't say stop having multiple wives.
I don't see it either.
So why did it stop?
And I don't even see where it says don't have multiple wives. As far as
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't say that. And actually, like 80% of it is filled with people.
I can't even get one wife, bro. Like I can't even imagine like getting multiple.
You know why? Because you don't got a farm. If you had a farm,
dude, you're right though.
If you had a farm,
you know how many women on Hinge are like saying, "I want farm, I want land, I want animals, I want to make a bunch of babies." I'm like,
that's all they want. Trad is back. Trad is back, so bad. It's back with a vengeance. Because normal chicks realize that like the thing they're a part of out here, this system is bull crap. Yeah, they've been sold absolute trash, and all of them are miserable.
Or too prideful to admit it.
That they're miserable?
Yeah.
It's okay. They'll wither and dry up.
Literally.
Anywho, bro, let's figure this out. Let's figure this out.
I think we should do a deep dive.
I wonder if I could reach out to that guy and see if he wants to come on.
I would love to have that conversation.
Me too.
Let's try. We'll try. If you're listening to this,
he's not Mormon.
And he's like a. I was going to say Baptist, but I don't know.
Dude, you might be right. I think he's Baptist. Alabama Baptist.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, Southern Baptist
for sure. A polygamist Southern Baptist. I'm so curious. We'll try to get him on. No promises.
Amazing. That'd be amazing. If anyone is listening to this and has a, we're like 1 degree of separation or something from someone, that.
Well, the rule is 6.
Or 6? Oh, I thought it was
you think one person.
I want to believe that.
You think one of the people
I just used that phrase. I just used that phrase with someone, and you were involved in it. It was funny.
I was involved?
Yeah.
Well, it's likely that I probably do know. I do have the.
You do. It works in your case. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
it works in your case.
It's 6 degrees of separation.
Okay. Dang it.
So within 6 people, you know everybody on the planet.
Okay.
Which is insane. Bro, we did it again.
We did it again. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. Please remember to like, to subscribe, to share. Come back on
Oh,
Thursday.
yeah. Hey, please
help
share.
us out.
Please share
Support.
because we're so censored on here.
Yeah,
We're so
we are.
it's
We're
insane.
very censored. Yeah.
It's insane.
We need help. That is the best support if you guys can help us with.
We should start saying this at the beginning.
Yeah.
And
we
I'm
did for a
starting,
while.
Dennis, I'm trying to start making like clips from these, you know,
Mhm.
like little 5, 10, 15, whatever minute clips on the topics, because it's hard to share like a 2-hour thing with people.
Yeah, it is. I know.
You know,
No one wants to watch that.
nobody
We
wants
do
to
have
watch that.
some people though. It's so great.
Oh yeah, we love them. I'm just saying, the polygamy chat standalone.
For sure. Let's do
And the
it.
thing is, and
Let's do it.
I want that. I'll make a clip of that, and people please share it so that it could reach the Alabama pastor guy,
Yeah.
and then we can get him on.
And we could tag them.
And then we'll
So
tag
we'll
him and
find
get
it
him
because
on.
I know I sent. You either send that to me or I send it to you.
Oh, I will find
So
it.
we'll find it and then we'll tag them and we'll try to get them on. That's how we should do that, Ben. We should do that. We should do like these tagging campaigns where we're just like, hey,
Sure.
our community
Dennis,
wants you to come on.
Dennis,
Mhm.
do you think your Christian wife would be mad?
Is that the question?
If you're like, hey, well, I don't know. If you tell her early on, and I don't know. Never mind. We'll get into it later.
Yeah, I think you should probably have a discussion with your wife first before we do this.
Well, you're not
I don't
married.
have-
I'm not
I don't
answering
have-
that question. I'm not answering that question.
Yeah, I don't
This
have
is this is my autism.
Okay.
Curious.
I
In
can
your
answer it because I don't
situation-
have a wife right now. Okay. I'm going to say yes. She'd be absolutely pissed. I would, yeah, I'd feel terrible if it was reversed for sure. I wouldn't want to hear that, but I'm just doing it more for the educational purposes.
It doesn't work the other way. Women can't
because of
have
it?
multiple husbands.
Okay.
Those are
So you're
called
just sticking to the law there.
putas.
The putas.
Yeah.
What's the male equivalent? Putos? Oh, yeah.
No, just regular old biblical patriarchy.
Okay. Good old Solomon.
Good old Solomon, bro. All right, guys.
We'll have a doozy for you next time.
I'll
Guys,
try.
have a good night, everyone. Thanks for hanging out.
Peace.